What is up today, guys? It is Mystic Dreamcatcher, and today we have Total Drama Island, but what if Sadie the GOAT won? Just keep in mind, it's only my opinion. If you guys like this, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. You guys are amazing. Let's get it. Obviously, her and Katie are on opposing teams for the first challenge, which is the one where they have to jump off the cliff into shark-infested circle water. So I'm going to say that still happens. But instead of Sadie and Izzy switching, I'm going to say that Lindsay and Tyler grew a much better relationship in a quicker amount of time. That way, it would lead to her instead going over to this team for Katie. Sympathetic towards Katie. And I am going to say that the first episode continues as usual with Ezekiel making a dummy remark, getting himself voted off. But the next episode is going to differ. For the Wake-a-thon, Heather made her alliance between Beth and Lindsay, and keep in mind, this entire season, Heather was like the only one to actually make an alliance. Everyone else was either by themselves or in a relationship, which I don't even count as an alliance to begin with. It's just romance. So instead, what I think happens is Heather still talks to Lindsay. They have that connection. They both think the pretty girls. Heather thinks that Lindsay is the preferred one over anyone else, which also means Tyler's kind of with Heather a little bit, or so she thinks, because if she has the girl, then most likely she has the guy. Right? So instead, during the Awake-a-thon, while these two try and keep each other up, she butts in and she makes that same deal with these two instead of Beth and Lindsay. So the alliance of 5 is these 3 and these 2. Heather still steals Eva thing in front of Lindsay as they talk. And since Lindsay and Tyler are spending much more time together now, since Heather really doesn't care, I'm gonna say that Lindsay blah blah her mouth and it accidentally slips like, hey, I saw Heather take the MP3, I wonder why, maybe she wanted to listen to music, and Tyler's confused. And so when the commotion happens with Eva throwing all her stuff out the window, and Heather, comes strolling by saying, whoops, I found it, Tyler's like, nah, hold up a second, I don't even like you, Heather, first off. Second off, Eva, my teammate, my strong teammate on my team, I'm gonna let you know right now, Heather took that, and she's framing you, blasting Heather in front of everyone, even though she is safe due to Gwen's immunity for the team. And then Eva says Heather's just like a no-good girl with Twiddledee and Tweedledum on her side. And when she makes this statement, these two get mad. They don't even get mad that they're called the name. They're mad that the other one of them got called the name. In which Lindsay is unsure how she feels about Heather right now, causing Heather to now reach out to Beth. Without Eva being the target, especially someone who just got framed, I unfortunately believe the only other option of elimination is Harold, and I really don't like my boy getting that low of a placement, but this is Sadie's main character time. This is how she gets to the end. Now, this is now Dodge Brawl, and Harold's gone, so what does that mean exactly? Well, as you know, Lindsay and Sadie were both kind of bad, so them switching doesn't really affect much. However, Izzy being on this team does greatly. I don't know why they didn't show Izzy making some fire moves in Dodge Brawl, but she should have been like hitting people left and right with a right to the left, you feel me? Like she should have been all on it. So instead of Harold, I'm gonna say Izzy takes his place and gets this character development I think she should have, in which I believe Noah just kind of stays the same with his snarky attitude. The next one is a talent contest. Heather reads Gwen's diary. Now once again, Harold isn't here to have the competition on his back. A little bit robbed, you could say. They didn't know how good of a competitor they just got out. So instead, DJ does his ballerina thing. Heather with 3 votes for her to be in the comp, she is in it as well. Trent with his guitar, and Justin with hot. Along with Eva showing off her talent to fight a bear and make like a coat out of it instantly. And once again, I do not know why Izzy was hidden this episode. She should have been out there doing something cool, because I know she can. I would say maybe she's trying to like lay low, but that's impossible, because that's not what Izzy does. She does the opposite of laying low. They must have forgot about Izzy and how OP she is I'ma say this team gets it. Justin, goodbye, you're still out of here. She got these 4 votes plus Owen because, like, I think she gave him some cake. I think that's why he voted with her. And I'm gonna say beforehand, Heather tells Justin she wants to vote, like, Trent out or something, and Justin's alright with that, not knowing that he was the target, so that's why it's not a tie of 5-5. Alright, now the next episode is the Sucky Outdoors. However, instead of Katie and Sadie wandering by themselves, they're also probably talking to Heather and Beth. And so I'm sure Heather will be like, Beth, go follow them so they don't get lost. And then she like goes to the front. And so Beth stays with them. They stay on the right track. So I'm gonna say Courtney and Duncan kind of talk to each other, a little bit of strat, mainly Courtney talking to Duncan, but she's like, hey, how I look at it, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, a total of 5 relationships in this game, Duncan. We need to start getting people out. However, their plan of getting Tyler booted kind of gets exposed by Izzy overhearing it. So she tells Lindsay and Tyler, who then tell Eva because they're all kind of working together, in which Eva storms to Bridget and Jeff, telling them that Courtney and Duncan are gunning for relationships. As you know, Jeff has a really strong alliance with Bridget, and he even betrayed his male alliance to try and save Bridget. AKA, Courtney, you're targeted, goodbye. Alright, now the next episode is one Courtney failed at anyway, so whatever, she's gone. However, she is also the reason a lot of people on her team got through the challenge. And also, I'ma say Tyler, his point counts since he did the dare exactly as they told him to, but they still failed him anyway, even though he did exactly what they wanted. In which Trent leaves Gwen alone in that box underground, and this obviously in the episode made her very upset. I'm gonna say Cody oversees Gwen like leaving Trent angrily and sadly, and so Heather comes up and says, you know what he did, right? And Cody says, what? And she says he broke up with her because she was too emo. And this makes Cody pissed, doing Heather's work for her, telling everyone that Trent broke Gwen's heart, even though it was all just a misunderstanding because he left her alone in the box. But either way, he jumped the gun, just like Lashana. Goodbye, Trent. Alright, Up the Creek is kind of a difficult episode to try and change because kind of realistically, no matter what, Izzy gets taken, and that's just factual. R.I.P. the home. This is the paintball deer hunt, the one where Cody gets mauled. And you know what? Let's say he gets mauled, plus he duped Trent. Gwen probably isn't the happiest with him anyway. 17th place. So as you know, Beth has that cursed idol. Beth is trying to talk to Katie and Sadie like, hey, Heather's a little rude. Maybe this isn't what it's meant to be. And they started like agreeing with her, but then her like evil idol is shown, and then, you know, they're kind of like, oh, if we don't go against you, not only do we look bad with Heather, but we kind of just look bad as a team. So that's at least 3 votes, Beth. Owen is easily buyable. Goodbye. Alright, so this is the one where Sadie actually got out because Courtney targeted her hardcore. Courtney's not here. So instead, I am going to say it's Bridget hitting Eva over and over again with apples, in which these 3 obviously align, and Eva goes tell Jeff like, hey, Duncan wants to vote Bridget out, pretending like that's good news for Jeff, but secretly knowing it'll make Jeff sad. So instead, Jeff votes for Duncan, these 3 vote for Eva, and these 3 vote for Bridget, in which there is a tiebreaker and Eva wins it. RIP the homie Bridget. Right now, we have the final 12. Alright, so basic straining is the one that Courtney got the votes rigged against her by Harold, but neither of them are here. But at the same time, I still kind of want something like that to happen. So instead of Harold doing it to Courtney, I'ma say Jeff does it to Eva. For sure, without a doubt, because he realized what she did. He realized the dupe. Alright, now the next episode is called Extreme Torture. This is one where they had to do like skydiving, riding a moose. Lindsay gets all the flags in a very nice style. Harold isn't here to see Heather. Instead, I'm going to say it's DJ who see Heather titties. Lindsay obviously winning it for her team. This is when I'm going to say Heather, Sadie, and Katie vote Gwen, and Gwen, Lashana, and Owen vote Katie, in which Gwen wins that tiebreaker. Sadie Losing Katie, pissed as hell. Sad as hell. Which means everyone else, congratulations to the merge. You guys earned it. And this is when they're told 2 competitors are coming back. Those being Izzy and my boy Harold. Lashana wins the immunity and the fabulous cabin for the first challenge, which is the no pain, no game with the wheel. And since Eva is not here to be targeted, I'm gonna instead say that target actually falls on Jeff, because everyone found out what he did. Because when Izzy comes back, she's like, yeah, I saw the whole thing. And I know she didn't do that in the original version, but she could have. Like, we didn't know if she saw it and she just simply didn't say. And so this time I'm gonna say, to keep her safe, she actually does say what she saw. Jeff, karma. Search and do not destroy. Obviously Heather pulled devious moves with Trent and Gwen in this one, but this time she doesn't. Instead, she does that to Tyler and Lindsay, in which Lindsay, obviously she misunderstands things very easily, tells Lashana does her thing. Heather wins immunity. Tyler, it was nice knowing you, my boy. Hide and be sneaky. This is when a guys alliance usually forms, but I just feel like the guys don't mess with each other that much to be doing that. Same thing with the girls, but this is when they start voting out people who is likable and a threat, because during this time the contestants actually believed there was going to be a jury vote. This is the bike race where Heather dupes Lindsay, but instead I'm gonna say, since Sadie is here, like, something happened where she actually like crashes into Lindsay, unknowingly saving both of them. So instead, since Izzy and Lashana that entire episode were racing, they are actually the last ones to finish, in which Chris decides to make them the only 2 available to receive votes. In which, Izzy, I'm sorry you are unfortunately gone. You did great. I'm glad you came back. Hook, line, and screamer. This is obviously the one DJ fails on, and I don't see any of the other contestants here besides maybe Lindsay failing, but I'm not going to say she does. Wawanakwa gone wild. They gotta use the darts to try and get animals. This is the one where Heather gets shot and gets like invincibility or something. Duncan helps her kind of getting invincibility too, since no one else wants to help Heather, so they leave Duncan alone so he can. Plus, they still think it's jury votes and they don't think he'll win jury votes, so they leave him be. And I'm gonna say Gwen is the one that shot Heather with the tranquilizer dart instead of Izzy, except the difference is she kind of did it on purpose. And so these 2, plus Sadie, and most likely Lindsay, vote Gwen. And I'm kind of just gonna say this is when Gwen gets out. I know she is a winner canonly, but like I said, this is Sadie's season. She has to get out eventually. I just realized I forgot to eliminate someone on hide and be sneaky, so I'm actually gonna put the homie Lindsay there. I'm sorry, my boy. That also explains why she didn't get eliminated from the race and Izzy did. The final 6, congratulations. Now this is the triathlon where everyone gets a partner. I'm gonna say it's Lashana and Harold, Heather and Duncan, followed by Sadie and Owen. And obviously I think you know where this is going. Heather and Duncan wins immunity, and out of these 4, the biggest one to worry about jury votes is sadly Owen. Owen, Gwen, the winners out back to back. You know what? That's fair. They both still got amazingly far. We have the final 5. Now, as you know, in the final 5, there's a certain little someone who gets duped here. And I will forever have her as the robbed queen. I'm sorry, Lashana, my favorite. R.I.P. I'm gonna say Harold and Sadie work together on this last part, because Harold likes thick, so he's with Sadie. Obviously, these 2 lose. Chef has to pick someone to eliminate, and Sadie eats more, which means Harold, you're gone. You did amazing with your second chance. We now have the final Goofy 3. Now, this is where Owen and Gwen teamed up against Heather, but at this point they kind of realize now that it is no longer a jury vote, in which Heather knows she could beat Sadie far easier in a challenge than she could Duncan. So she whispers to Sadie like, hey, let's team up on Duncan, and Sadie's like, why not? And so that is exactly what happens, and there we go. What if Sadie won Total Drama Island? Confirmed, the official source. Yes, sir. Just keep in mind, it is only my opinion. If you guys like this, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. You guys are all amazing. I dare you to have a good